Welcome into Outside Shots, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Head to any Circle K Arizona location where you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. Also, it's 40 cents off on gas all day today for Inner Circle members, so go check that out because, hey, we could all use a little bit of savings. So, how's it going, EJ? You're out there in beautiful Mexico.
Yeah, I got to get myself centered, man. There I go. There I go. There I go, there I go, there I go. You don't know nothing about that song.
Come on, man.
Where you
at right now? Where are you at right now?
I'm in an undisclosed location, out of the country. You know, just relaxing. You know, the sun's getting ready to open the season up here, man. Pretty soon. I got to get my rest. I'm gonna be busy this year.
Hey,
getting ready to go deep into the playoffs, to the finals.
This is the last kind of hurrah for a lot of us because in the media industry, sports media industry, this is like the last weekend where there's no NFL games, and then all of a sudden it gets kind of chaotic, and then basketball comes back shortly after that, and hockey. And it just gets crazy.
Baseball playoffs.
So it's the busiest time of the year, but it's the funnest time of the year, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it and getting back on there. And let's talk about that. You know, KG was he had a lot of things to say this week, but one of the things he talked about was the Phoenix Suns. Take a listen.
Hey, guess what? They played. You saw two superstars.
They don't got no depth.
They got two superstars that played this summer. That means something. That means they're in rhythm. I'm telling you, bro, Phoenix going to be better than what most.
So they're going to win more than 47 games?
I think so. They're going to be plus 47 to me. And then, you got health with everybody.
It's going to be so hard in the West.
Man. So guess what? You still got to have these young teams develop and be together.
What seed was they this year? 6?
No, they was, they were. Yeah, because they got beat by Minnesota.
6 seed?
Yeah. And that was a so-called terrible year for them. You hear me? I'm telling you, man, Devin Booker can be an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Bill, he can be an MVP. These guys, they got it, bro. And you got KD.
I just think they older.
Yeah, they older. Everybody's older.
And I think these young teams is a problem.
I love what KG said. Listen, full disclosure, I didn't know if Devin Booker would ever be able to do the things on a grander scale in order to gain the attention to be in the MVP running on a night-to-night basis. But the Olympics, to me, changed everything. And I think because of that, people are starting to understand, and they really look at Devin Booker in a different way, that he's not just a scorer, which I think contributes to the overall push. If he starts off this season very well, man, I think he's going to be right up there in that top 5 of MVP, and it's completely warranted.
Yeah, it'll still be hard for him because there's so much talent, top heavy on this team. Anytime you have, next to Devin Booker, Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, any given night, as Kevin Garnett said, and he's right, any given night, those two guys are going to look like they're MVP. And so if you got another one on there, that's hard. But if you got 2 more, that's hard, man. And so I don't know if Devin has really got his sights set on probably being in that situation. He's in that situation a number of years ago, and they came up short for a title. I think his whole goal is to win a title and let it grow from there. And in order to do that, Saul, in a lot of ways, Devin can't act and play like he's an MVP. He's got to act and play like he did in USA basketball. Like some given nights, he's got to step back, as he has tried to do since KD has come there, and then last year with Bill, step back and actually be a role guy that given night. And so because of that, that's going to lose some luster on people looking at you as, say, an MVP. You know what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, you got Kevin Durant on your team. You got Bradley Beal. And all of a sudden, Bradley Beal is going to be the person that, well, you got Bradley Beal, when last year they were tearing him apart, right? Because he had to deal with his injuries. So I don't know if that's something that Devin is looking at. I think maybe all league, yeah. But to get MVP, I think it's going to be tough when you got two guys on your team next to you, man, that can outplay you any given night.
No, listen. I totally agree with that, but I also think he would not be the anomaly in that situation, right? You have players around the league that are also playing with other superstars
Right.
that will be in that conversation. And I think that his all-around game finally got the love and respect that it deserved
Yes.
in the Olympics, and I think because of that, and again, I think everybody pigeonholed him as just a scorer. And if you really, we don't, because we see him on a night-to-night basis. We know the kind of work that he puts in, but the national narrative just wasn't there. And because of that, I think now, people have awakened, and they won't dog him out if he only has 20 points in the game. If he has 7 assists, 7 rebounds, couple steals, whatever, right? And they continue to win. And I do think that they're going to win more games this year than last year. I really do. I think that they're going to be in that 55 range, because I do think that one more year of continuity with just the core and those guys, and then also you bring in somebody like Mike Budenholzer that's going to be able to help elevate everybody offensively, and that's what these guys are. Listen, we all have a love language. They love to score. They love to play the game, and they like to play at a high level on the offensive side. And defense is cool, but hey, you got to score, because that's what everybody loves to see. And Devin Booker's proven that he can score at a high level, and now adding the defense to that side of things from the national perspective. Again, we knew this here, but from the national perspective, I think that just changes the dynamic completely. And then Bradley Beal. Okay, listen, I love Bradley Beal. I do. I know there's a lot of people that give him so much flack for last season, and I'm never going to dog him out, because I just feel like he's a tremendous basketball player, tremendous scorer. I don't know about MVP though. Like, that would have to be that is kind of a 1 in a million kind of season if he was able to put it all together, get back to where he was at in Washington as one of the premium scorers in the game, and was able to elevate his game from last year to this year to the point where he was in the MVP conversation. I think if you're talking about Bradley Beal as an MVP at any point this season, the Suns have got to be the number one team in the league.
Well, he can be a player of the week. He can be a player of the month. But when Bradley Beal decided to come to Phoenix, he came there because he was tired of losing in Washington. He was looking for wins. If that wasn't the case, he would have stayed in Washington. So that's what he wanted. And he knew when he came to the Suns that he was going to take a back seat. He said it publicly anyway. He says Devin's team. KD there. I mean, how it's going to be difficult to be able to do that. But can he be a player of the week? Yeah. Player of the month? Yeah, he can. And that's what you expect from him, right? You expect that from him. And so I think that's how he's viewing it. But yeah, I mean, Kevin Garnett obviously is a little bit, overhyped in that statement. But I just think he's correct though in the fact that don't sleep on the Suns. And they won 49 games last year, people. And I think those three guys probably missed upwards of 30 plus games in playing with each other out there. So just think about that. Think about if they're together, how many games they can win. So I think they're going to win way more than 47. They're going to be over 50, and they're going to be in contention if they can stay healthy. Now, it's always that if, right? But it's an if for everybody. It's not just an if for them. It's an if for everybody. Jokic is not going to stay healthy forever. Sooner or later, something's going to happen. That's what it is. When you play this game long enough, you don't escape it. You don't. I used to think that crazy stuff. I played in 400 straight games or something to start my career. And I'm thinking I'm going to be able to do this forever. Please. I woke up one morning, man, my back was it was in an L shape. I didn't even know what was wrong. I was I was turned up like this. And ever since then, stuff just started happening. So you just never know. You never know. You have to enjoy it when it's in front of you. And hopefully this team can get off to a great start, Saul. See, that's the key. And the schedule's not that easy to start, But man, you want to get good teams early in the year when they're fresh out of training camp. They're not totally there yet. They're not totally in shape. You want to jump on them, right? I mean, Suns got the Lakers and the Clippers early in the year. I think they got the Clippers twice. Like, you want to get them early, get the lead on them, get off to a good start, and pound out those victories. So if something does happen now, 20, 25 games into the season, now you've got some house money to deal with. Last year, the Suns kept battling 500, man, because of what they went through. They were constantly trying to get over 500, get over. They finally did, but it took some effort to get there. Why not get off to a good start? And I think that should be the key.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. You know, this team is, I think you want to feel good about this team and be optimistic about where they're going. And I think, you know, we all feel better about where they're heading this season than before, maybe even last season, even though I think there was a lot of optimism last year. I do. I think, you know, getting Bradley Beal, you wondered how that was going to look, but I think we quickly found out that things weren't going to shake out quite the way we hoped last year. I think we kind of identified that rather early just because there was just so many things that felt like they were working against them. Injuries, chemistry. You could even make an argument for coaching and styles and you know, approaches and things of that nature. And I think that that's just going to be drastically improved this year. And I know, listen, I think one thing that I know for certain is that Devin Booker very much took this last season to heart and really was, you know, for lack of a better word, offended by the way they finished this season. And I know he's on a mission this year. And I trust that man wholly in terms of trying to get this team back up to where they were in 2021, get back to the finals and give this city a championship that they deserve. I do know that for a fact that these guys, Book and KD and Beal, are determined to flip that narrative. And KD's been on the record multiple times saying, y'all going to see that it's going to be different this year and they're going to be much better. And so that gives me some cautious optimism. Now, when we move forward, there's some other things that went on that KG talked about, which was kind of crazy. He went at Ant, just like you did last week. But also, before we play that clip, Magic went at Ant and talked about he ain't trying to hear somebody's opinion who has never won a championship at any level. Pro, college, high school even, like, was just completely like, nah, I'm not even trying to hear it because it's disrespectful. Because Magic Johnson won championships at every single level. KG doubled down on that narrative and had something to say about Ant.
If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to Ant, this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Nah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back. And then if you shot that, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Okay, well, as much as I would love to be able to back up KG on this, I completely disagree with him wholeheartedly because I just don't see. You look at around the league, yes. Would it have been more physical? Would it have been more challenging? Yes. But these players would have adapted. Some of them would have been able to thrive despite that. I don't believe for a second that LeBron James would have struggled, who also, by the way, played 20 years ago in the league and was just fine as a rookie. I disagree wholeheartedly with KG. As much as he tried to make that point, I do believe that the players of today can handle going back. I'm not going to say it was going to be easy, but that's also disrespectful in my opinion.
Well, I don't think he was referring to LeBron. He played against LeBron. So I don't think he's referring to him.
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, like they would have been fine.
I don't think he's referring to those great players. Notice what he said. He said half the guys. He didn't say those. Now, What he also said was it wouldn't be that easy. And I agree with him. It just would. They'll never know and they'll never understand. But it just wouldn't be that easy. Like I always make the line, and I'll say in today's game that I could average 25 easy. And people want to kick back and laugh. But what they don't understand is what KG said, efficiency. Like if you go listen to more of that clip with he and Paul Pierce talking, it was efficiency. It's how we scored. Like we didn't waste 1,000 dribbles to score 2 points. We wasted one or two dribbles. What does that do for us when we do that? It gives us energy because we don't waste energy. We conserve it. Like I was a conserving scorer. I got stronger as the game went on. Why? Because I didn't exhaust a ton of energy to do it. In today's game, you do. Now you add in the hand checking in the pass, the physicality of the pass, the restraints on you being able to chuck up a three, 1-on-4, 1-on-5. Now you got to think how you're going to get it done in spite of the physicality that's in front of you. So the way that these young guys are taught basketball now, that's what KG's saying. So the way that they are taught now, no way their game could transfer back to those years. They would struggle by the way that they're taught now. The way that they think and the way that they're taught now, they would struggle because you had to play inside the three. You had to use your teammates to get open. And you better have a one or two dribble shot because if you think you're going to dribble 8 times, you're out of your freaking mind. Not going to happen. They're going to run and double you. They're going to be physical, and you're not getting offensive rebound. So the point is, like, that's what he's saying. Like, so when Ant comes out and he makes that statement, he's not taking his game back to that era. What he's doing is he's taking his game back the way he plays under the rules of this era. No, 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 no. You can't do that. You take your game 20 years back, coaches weren't thinking like they do now. So that's how you have to look at it. They weren't thinking like they do now. They were thinking inside the three. How would your game plan out? And that triple step back would be a travel back in our day. You wouldn't be able to get to it. And if you did, like KG said, you better knock it down. You know why? Because we had some mid-range assassins. We had guys that can post up and get high percentage shots. That's the difference. So stay in your own era is basically what he's saying. And shut the hell up with this talking about you don't know anybody and you don't know if we could play in this era and all of that. It's easier for us, and I'll finish it here. It would have been easier for us in the 80s to transfer to this era than it would be for them to transfer back to our era. It would be more difficult.
Agree with that?
So that's what he's saying to them, and that's why he needs to shut up. He's too young to be talking, and the Magic is correct. They're gonna bring. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen sooner or later. See, Magic is the ultimate politician. I know Magic differently. See, that's the difference. Like on TV, Magic is going to give you a political stance. He's not going to berate anybody. He's not going to do that. Sit at a card table with him. Sit in a hotel room where they gambling and talking junk with Magic, and you're going to meet Buck. You're going to meet Buck. You're not going to. Magic is going to be gone. You're going to meet Buck. That's his name, big name. Then you're going to see. He's going to undress you and destroy you because that's how he is. So Anthony Edwards bet not retort. Okay? Trust me. That's right. Go win first, dude. Not a series. Everybody won series. Go get a chance to get to a final. And it's hard. You're going to find that out. I went to 4 Western Conference Finals. They're hard to get past them. Okay? Hard. Game 7, Game 6. Couldn't do it. Go do that, man. Not a first round win, not a second round win. We don't want to see that.
All right. I mean, hey, listen, I agree. I agree with the perspective that today's player going back would be more difficult than the players back in the day coming forward. Like, I do agree with that. It is an inherently different game, but I just think the adaptability of players is always going to find a way if they have the talent to overcome. Like, and I think that's generational. I think that supersedes generations as well.
Heart desire too. Like a lot of guys in this day right now would make it back there because they would be hungry to do the right thing. I get it. But what I'm saying is Ant might not be Ant as he is in this game back in our game. That's the difference. Ant might not be getting 20 points. He might be getting 14. Because of the way that we played back there, if he didn't use his brain and he thought he was just going to use his athletic ability. That's the difference.
Well, oh boy. I feel like that's going to be a quote graphic somewhere. We're about to get to somebody else from an older generation, and Rasheed Wallace and Michael Jordan. But before that, let me tell you about the people at Circle K and really becoming part of the Inner Circle. Inner Circle is fantastic. Like I said today, 40 cents off per gallon all day today. So make sure you go check out any Circle K that's nearby you. You can actually click on the Inner Circle app and hit your location to find the closest one that is running that deal to you. So, hey, listen, today's all about you, Inner Circle members. So make sure you get yourself 69 cents on a drink, Froster or a Polar Pop. It's right there. The screen says 79 cents. That's for everybody else. But for Inner Circle members, you get it at 69 cents, which is always a nice thing. So make sure you join the Inner Circle today for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also, we have a huge fantasy football draft tonight out at Gila River Wild Horse Pass. If you have some time, please come out, check it out. It is going to be elite. The things we have going on.
Get all my Bears, all of them. This is our year, baby.
Have you been watching Hard Knocks? Have you been watching Hard Knocks?
Williams, I'm watching. Why do I watch it? Are you kidding me? I recorded. I've watched 3 straight times in the same episode.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, EJ. Last episode, did they get you in the feels a little bit?
Well, yeah, I was. Yes.
That was tough. That was tough to see Mama crying in the stands, and then the hug.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the hug.
Yeah, the hug was forever, wasn't it?
Man, listen. I took an OGs before I watched it, and so when I was watching the hug, I was like, man, this feels like a really long hug, and I can't tell if it's because I'm, maybe feeling a little differently right now or not. It was a little different, but like I said, fantasy football draft tonight out at Gila River Wild Horse Pass. It is going to be phenomenal. We have so many things that are put into this. This is a live show, both streaming and also in person. You'll be able to hear everything. You'll see the picks. A lot of interaction. We encourage you to come out. Listen, I will buy you a beer if you come out. Also, on top of that, we would encourage you to boo, heckle, have fun with it. We have a bunch of crazy things that we're putting into this show. We have player interviews. We have walk-ups. We have intro. Like, it's just so over the top, stupid, ridiculous that you're going to have a great time. So please come out to Wild Horse Pass. You will enjoy yourself. And also, shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Amelia was in here earlier. Ryan, Ogre, Ija Morris, who also gave us a super chat, said, we saw KD struggle with physical D from Boston. Yeah, but we've also seen KD thrive despite the physical D from other teams and what they tried to do to him. He learned earlier on in his career how to navigate those waters. And if you watched him in the Olympics, which to me was as close to back in the day defense as you're going to get with all the holding and grabbing and physical play, he still did his thing. So, like, I get it.
We all struggled. Like, everybody struggled. That's why we're saying how tough it was. Every night it was a struggle. That's what we're saying. So yeah, he struggled. That's what he's coming from. He admits he struggled at Minnesota when he was young. We used to do stuff to him. He wasn't physical. He wasn't strong yet. Yeah, he wasn't smart. Like KG never put on a ton of weight, but he turned into an all-time great. Early on in his career, he got knocked around. They were losing games, and he figured it out in Minnesota first because they went to a conference final. All right, he figured it out, and then obviously took all that what he learned in Minnesota to Boston and added to what he had, and they won a title.
About
So yeah,
KD, not KG.
KG.
The comment was about KD.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay. I'm sorry.
We're all good.
Why you
We're all
wait so
good.
long? Why you wait so long to correct me?
I mean, you know, I don't like to interrupt somebody
Why
on
did you know?
here. So.
Why did you want me to go into a rant? That wasn't a rant. That was like a mistake. You know, you got that green shirt on right now. It's like clashing with the colors behind you.
I mean, hey, I make it look good though. That's all that matters.
Oh,
Also,
you had an ego. You have an ego, man.
Rasheed, well, you were one to talk about ego. Come on, EJ, man. Also, Rasheed Wallace, not a big fan of Michael Jordan, which is a little Tar Heel on Tar Heel crime right now. He had this interesting quote to say. Basically, I seen this MFer get his ass busted. Talking about Michael Jordan getting busted on defense, and that he thinks that Michael Jordan was an extremely overrated defensive player. EJ, you played in the league with Michael Jordan. What say you?
This is what I'll say. And I'm gonna try to say this in the nicest of ways. Okay. I've said this before, so it's not something I haven't said. I'd rather MJ guard me early in game than Scotty. All day long. All
Bad
day long.
defender.
What
But that doesn't mean that MJ's a bad defender because you would rather play him against Pippen.
I think what Rasheed said overrated at times. And that's what the league will do. And that's the disappointing part about the league. The star players or the designated star players, and granted, Michael Jordan was an unbelievable star, don't get me wrong. But it's nothing they do wrong. So for instance, there's times I've scored 25, 26 on the Bulls. And those 25, 26 came on MJ and Scotty. But you know what they'll say? They'll say, oh, he was just hot. He was just out of this world hot. No, I get that to any damn body. Go check the numbers. But they would never give that to me. They'd make excuses for the star. Say if Jordan had an off night and somebody was guarding him, you know what they'd say? Jordan had an off night. Like it's always a protection of the star. And it's not just MJ, it's every star that's played in the league, and even today's game. Like that's why role players go nuts. Because they get a label on them that they can't shed. Like they can't shed the label. Like, label on me, well, you didn't play defense. It's many times and stretches in my career where I defended the top offensive player. I did well on them. All right. And I never got credit for it. So that's just the way it is. And so what Rasheed is saying is he's just letting everybody know, despite you thinking that every night Michael went out and he stopped somebody, that wasn't the case. He got his butt wore out.
Listen,
no matter what he did.
Everybody,
and I think that's what Sheed is saying.
That's all well and good, but like that's trying to make an example of Michael Jordan as if he's not the only one to be able to not go through a whole season and be perfect on defense 82 straight games. Even the best defenders get their ass busted from time to time. Like it's just.
But he's close to it. But Saul, when did you hear announcers or anybody or people writing articles saying Jordan got his butt busted on defense? Never.
But when have you really seen that against any superstar?
Are you kidding me? They've gotten on plenty of stars that struggled and ripped them apart. it's the myth of MJ. Okay, I'm telling you, it's the myth of him, and good for
They rip
him.
LeBron defensively.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So I'm just this MJ, man. It's the myth of MJ, and good for him that he's been able to do this and get people to think this way. But
Not
trust
doing
me, and
anything.
then he played in an era where there's no social networking. I guarantee you, if people had social networking back then, you would see the criticism. But it was controlled back then. And that's what Rasheed is saying. He's not saying MJ couldn't play. Come on, man. He's arguably the GOAT, the greatest player ever. But he wasn't perfect. But people tend to think he was freaking perfect. I put out a tweet yesterday that showed Scottie Pippen in the finals. In the finals. We can pull that up. I tweeted it out. In the finals. Led in 5 statistical categories. In the finals, Jordan only led in 1, scoring. That's it. People push back on me. Oh, he only had 4 more assists. Really? That's how you going to roll with it now? Really? No. That tells you how important Scottie was. That's all. But nobody wants to hear that about Scottie. They don't want to hear it about Scottie because it takes away the legend of MJ. That's
because
why.
Listen, it's because everybody always if you have an argument against MJ, it's always the Scottie Pippen argument, even though those two came up together, and you could argue that Michael Jordan also helped Scottie get to that level as well by pushing him the way he pushed him.
Then? Well, why Luke Longley not a damn
Some guys don't have the talent to be able to rise up to that level.
Okay,
Luke Longley does not.
So why couldn't Scottie Pippen, who freaking came from nowhere, came from a small school, be the catalyst of his own growth? Why Michael got to be the catalyst?
Well, no, talk to those two.
Why Scottie couldn't be his own catalyst? I mean, I didn't see him lift up the other guys on the Bulls to Hall of Fame levels. Come on now, that's my point. It's like, I know he helped Scottie. I know he did. In all practical purposes, he probably helped Luke Longley. But my point is, Scottie, if you talk to anybody on that Bulls team, they will tell you till they're blue in the face, Scottie Pippen raised their game, not MJ. They'll tell you this. So my point is, like, all I'm saying is, like, when you start to hear this pushback, it's guys that probably just had enough of it because they know how it really evolved. It evolved as Michael being arguably the greatest ever, but not some freaking one-man band that he's 6-0. He wasn't 6-0. The Chicago Bulls was 6-0. That's all, and I think that's where you're getting this pushback from, like, the old school guys that played against them.
But the reason why that 6-0 narrative exists is because when Michael left, they did not get back to the finals. And that was all a Scottie Pippen led team. And listen, that's not fair to Scottie either, because Michael had Scottie. When Michael left, Scottie didn't have anybody else. He had to carry the boat, right? And that's not a knock on Scottie. He even got back to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is phenomenal, and that's great. Like, I'm not taking that away. But what my point is like, it's easy to point and say, hey, without this, that wouldn't have happened. And I think that's the narrative with the 6-0 stuff. And then listen, Michael Jordan, okay, cool. You might not think that he was like the best defensive player of all time and that he got his ass busted from time to time, for sure.
He was a hell of a defender.
He was absolutely 9-time all defense, and he won Defensive Player of the Year, which apparently that's also a dispute as well for some people. I'm not even going to get into that BS. And one of the more iconic moments of his career was when in the finals, stripping Karl Malone and then coming down and hitting the game-winning shot. Like, weak side help. Like, that's Michael Jordan. And like, I'm not trying to sit there and say that anybody else, like LeBron to me is right there neck and neck with Michael now, just because of how amazing he has been for the duration of his career for 20 plus years. One of his most iconic moments is also the block shot against Iguodala. Like, amazing. But I don't think we need to sit here and say like, oh, well, Michael Jordan wasn't as good on defense as everybody thought he was. Well, why?
Well, he doesn't. She doesn't have to say it, but she's doing what we're doing. We're in a podcast. Stuff's gonna come up. I mean, come on. I mean, he's gonna say it. Like so. I mean, that's and if people gonna take him back to when he played, then he's gonna have those feelings that's gonna come out to just try to get people to understand that no one's perfect. Now, you brought up
taking those feelings. Maybe he should have taken those feelings and used the talent that he had to win more championships than he ended up doing.
Let me slap you for
Wallace.
Okay, I'm gonna slap that green shirt off you for a second. I'm gonna tell you why. You just made a statement and you said, "Well, Scotty didn't win when Michael left." Well, Michael didn't win when Scotty wasn't there. Okay? And guess what else? Michael didn't win 55 games like Scotty did. Michael was getting put out of the first round and not even making the playoffs. Scotty won more games by himself than Michael did.
Who did Michael play in those playoffs?
I just asked you a question.
I'm telling you, who did he... You know damn well the teams that Michael had to go up against were legendary teams.
Scottie Pippen won 55 games and almost won MVP the year
Not taking that away from him.
Okay, then. So I don't want people saying, "Oh, well, Michael lifted Scotty." No, he didn't. Scotty lifted himself with the help of Michael.
Could they not have lifted each other?
A totally different way to put it. No, what I'm saying is a totally different way to put it. It's almost like people want to say, "Oh, Michael, he carried Scotty like he's a little damn baby." No. He helped lift Scotty, but Scotty's talent lifted himself. A hard worker.
Boy. So let's get to some of these. Let's get to some of these comments because I think they're all warranted. And let's go with the first one. Isha says Scotty had inherited a three-peat team, which is true. Hey.0 says Scotty was not a rookie at the time that he led them to 55 games too. Like that is a legit comparison. Like he was coming up and he was not the player that he was early on in his career with Michael that he was when Michael took off for that 2 year.
We making excuses
just
for a
saying.
Guy.
I'm just saying.
We're making excuses for a guy that dropped 60 damn points on the Boston Celtics. So we're making an excuse for a guy that came into the league averaging 30. So he had the ability to do it. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. Oh, he was young then and Scotty was older. What does that got to do with anything?
Because of the teams that they had to go up against. That matters, okay. EJ. You played the legendary Celtics in 86 when he dropped 63 and tried to carry that Coke-led Bulls team to a second round.
How do you know they were Coke-led?
Bro, everybody in the 80s was on Coke.
How do you know they were Coke-led? Really? You going to go there? Bottom line is this, man. The bottom line is this. I want people, my whole goal is to get people to look at Scotty individually and not as some damn caddy to MJ. It is not right. That's my point.
He was recognized as one of the top 50 players in NBA history.
Listen. Okay, let me say this then. If Scottie Pippen had led the Bulls in scoring, but Michael had led in 5 categories, steals, rebounds, assists, y'all be still saying, "Oh, look at Michael. Oh, Michael's just unbelievable."
No, they wouldn't. No,
would.
they'd be like, you know what they'd be like? They'd be like, "What's wrong with Michael scoring?"
You know why they would? I'm gonna tell you why they would. Because they're doing it today. They're doing it for Jokic. It's the reverse. It's the same thing. They're doing it for Nikola Jokic today. Okay? Because his scoring isn't off the chart over the top. Oh, but you know what? He does this, he does that, he's unselfish, Yeah, you would still be doing it. Don't get out of here with that. But with Scotty doing it, he doesn't get that love.
But he does.
In the finals, man. Do you understand how powerful that was? He was first in every freaking category other than scoring.
EJ, who in their right mind ever says that Scotty was not fit to be part of the conversation of the Bulls winning championships?
The people, have you ever said Scottie Pippen was 6-0?
No.
Heck no. No one.
You know why? You know why?
Find me a tweet.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because remember when Rasheed Wallace and Scottie Pippen teamed up and blew a 28-point lead against the Lakers in Game 7 on the road in the Western Conference? That's why. Because without Michael Jordan, none of them win anything. That's why. That's why we don't mention Scottie Pippen 6-0.
Well, let me tell you this. I was a teammate of Scottie Pippen's in Houston before he went to Portland. And Scottie Pippen basically had nobody left. He stole. He'll tell you he stole at the end. Like, he had to carry MJ so much in all the statistical categories in Chicago, okay? Every night, having to guard the top guy, pick up Magic full court. I didn't see MJ picking up Magic, okay? Scottie had to guard the top guy, led in rebounds in the finals, assists, steals, did all that. Dude had a bad back. He had surgery on his back. Dude was done. He wasn't Scottie Pippen.
And that's why MJ had to carry him in Game 6.
No, he wasn't. I'm talking about no. I'm talking about in Portland.
Okay, gotcha.
In Portland, that's why he wasn't that same Scottie. So back up on that.
Just saying,
Leave
man.
Scottie alone.
You had it all in your hands, and then Shaq and Kobe just came out of nowhere in the fourth, man. I don't know what happened there.
Well, it was Shaq and Kobe.
I'm just saying.
I mean, give me a break, man.
Raise their level against greatness, right?
Really? Well, what about when my boy from Illinois ripped MJ at half court, put them out?
Who?
Huh?
Oh, Nick Anderson.
Yeah. What about that?
What happened the year after that?
What about that?
What happened the year after that?
No, I'm just talking about when he came.
I know, but what happened after that? What happened the year after that?
I don't care.
How did Nick do against MJ the year after that?
They celebrated. Orlando celebrated.
They fucking swept their ass all the way back home is what happened. All right. Before we wrap this up, I want to get EJ's thoughts. Listen, man, there's a guy in the NBA that is absolutely slept on. Oh, wait. First of all, let's get to some super chats real quick before we move on from that topic. Isha says, that's disingenuous because Scotty inherited a well-oiled three-peat team. Mike inherited a 26-win team. Come on, EJ.
Name them. Name them. Name the player. Hey, Morris, name the well-oiled machine.
And the next one says,
I want you to name them. Every one of those guys, when they left Chicago, was out the league. So well-oiled. That's like driving a jalopy with a brand new Ford engine in it. Okay, you get out of here, man.
What the hell is a jalopy?
A jalopy, like the body just all dented up and beat up, but you got a new engine in it. That engine was Scotty, but he had them dudes, man. He carrying them dudes, man. They couldn't even close the door. Get out of here, man.
And the next, another super chat from Isha says, Michael actually logged more minutes on Magic. So there you go.
Yeah, and guess what happened? Magic was wearing them out, and guess what they did? They put Scotty on him, and it changed the series. You're correct. Yeah, you're correct. He started out on Magic, but he got off Magic because Magic was out there like Magic was posted him up, beating him up inside. Scotty got on him, and Scotty slowed it up.
Why don't you talk to Magic about 92 in Barcelona? Ask him if it was the same experience.
Look, MJ is an unbelievable dude, man. Look, you see the videos I have on MJ. I'm telling you, he's the most maniacal, competitor, crazed animal I've ever met in my life. I love him. But I just get tired of you all just going all in like you do with the positivity. But my boy LeBron has to deal with social networking in his era, and he's getting the criticism all the freaking time from them couch potatoes and them water boys.
But MJ's not the one selling it. He's not the one out there talking about it. He's not on social media. These guys are bringing his name up. You know why they're bringing his name up? EJ, do you know why they keep bringing him up? It's because he's viral. They want to make a name for themselves in this industry or whatever
I
is going
understand
on.
that, and I understand that part. But my point to you
Yeah, I'd be like, keep my
is
name
that
out your mouth and
he's
slap
had to
the hell
do
out of him.
if MJ was in this era, then he would be using social networking too, because he is a freaking endorsement machine. He would be doing it too. All right. And so it would be the same thing. I'm not blaming MJ. He was blessed and lucky that we didn't have social networking back then. I get it. But you know what? LeBron catches it, and you got a lot of LeBron fans out there that want to push back on it because of that. She must be a LeBron fan.
Isha came back at you. Isha came back at you with another super chat. Said, that's not true. Worthy was wearing out Scotty, and Michael switched to Worthy. Michael guarded Magic the majority of the series. Scotty admitted that.
EJ, you're wrong. You're wrong. It is well known, my man, that the series changed when Scotty started picking up Magic 94 feet, making him turn. It slowed the game up. Okay, Worthy was only effective if Magic was pushing and getting him easy looks. Please don't try to discuss b-ball with me, Mr. Morris. You will get ate up.
Ogre
I
says,
will eat you up.
Ogre has a comment for you. EJ says, we got Google. It ain't hard to do these days, EJ. Also,
Go
Greg
to
answered
Google.
it. And then
Go
Greg
to
answered.
Google. You know what? I got Google too. You know what my Google is? Right here. That's my Google. Worth more than that fake Google you get, because half that stuff on Google, they lying. They even got AI technology on there. You believe anything. You believe Saul used to be equivalent to Michael Jordan. They put him on there trying to dunk, and
Greg
they made it look
Anderson.
like he's jumping 20 feet.
Greg Anderson says you're starting to sound like Ant Edwards. So there you go, EJ.
Well, Greg Anderson, you got a basketball name, but probably not a basketball game.
All right. Before we go, somebody else who has some game in the NBA. Listen, man, I don't like to put people's personal business out there, but since it's all over the place, I want to give a shout out to TORREY CRAIG. Because TORREY CRAIG apparently is dating the one and the only Megan Thee Stallion. So
how you know he dating her? I mean, they were lying in the bed. I mean, I don't know if that was a date.
They were answering questions like who's the funniest, and then they were pointing to whoever they thought was the funniest, who's the best cook. That ain't. Come on, that ain't. That ain't.
You get a lot done in one day. You can cook. You can cook. Get to know each other. Play games.
You know damn well that's not what's happening, sir. Listen, man. TORREY.
Okay, listen.
Hey, TORREY's got game, man. And people trying to slander him in those comments talking
about.
Why
you say he got game? Why you say he got game?
Because
he pulled somebody that I wouldn't even listen to her music.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I mean, what did he pull?
I'm just saying,
I'm just asking you, what did he pull, Saul?
I think he pulled a quality woman, is what I think he pulled.
He really? Okay. Well, if she changed her lyrics to some of them songs, then maybe.
What's wrong with the music?
Man, stop.
Come on now. Listen, if we judge people based on what they always say or what they sing, man, Snoop Dogg wouldn't be a thing.
I don't know the young lady. She's made her money. She's worth about 30, 40 mil. TORREY did it right. That means, she can't say half TORREY. So that's a good move there. I just really was kidding on the other stuff. So my hat's off to TORREY. That's what you did. Go right ahead. Go do your thing.
TORREY did used to be in Love and Hip Hop.
I want to see it last past 2 months, though, TORREY.
Come on.
So I don't trust celebrities. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
I used to grow up on the Inquirer, man. Did
you ever date a celebrity?
Man, no. Myself.
Why not? I mean,
I'm the celebrity.
Nobody loves EJ more than EJ.
EJ would totally date EJ.
He would.
For sure.
He absolutely would. He would post a selfie pic with himself for sure. All right.
I can't believe you all pumped up for TORREY. Like these
guy, man. Like, give him some love, man. Listen, he had to go play for the Bulls, man. That shit wasn't an easy season, I'm sure.
I like TORREY, but I love TORREY. I'm not jumping up and down. Look, there's so many beautiful women in this world that you can meet. I tell my son that all the time. It's like, come on, man. I don't get all worked up over that. Yeah, who Torrey Craig is dating.
Nobody's worked up.
Look.
Nobody's
Oh
worked up
yeah,
about it.
you look
I'm
like
just
you
giving
got
them a
all
shout out.
excited.
Like, hey, I see you.
You look like you got all excited.
I mean, I'm happy for him. Tori's a good guy.
What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? I mean, when you know Torrey's dating, what are you thinking about?
I'm just thinking, hey, good for you. Good for you, buddy.
Well, I mean, what's the problem? What are you? I'm curious.
Anyway, that's another episode of Outside Shots. Go back to the beach, EJ. We appreciate y'all for joining us. You can follow him at JumpShot8. You can follow me at Saul_Bookman. There's the beach right there. It's nice and beautiful.
Don't give your location away, Eddie.
Make sure you follow us at PHNX_Sons. We'll be back next week. Until then, we love y'all. Peace.